So I hope we are online now, and welcome again to this second talk in the GTB track on the A4Q Global Testing Summit. Title of this talk is How the Agile Transformation Changes Testing. And I have the pleasure to announce Thomas Karl and Nico Liedl from Accenture, who will introduce themselves later to this talk. And it's also a pleasure because it's about the current challenges, and they see it a little bit like me, some challenges in or connected in agile projects regarding appropriate expertise that's sometimes missing or acceptance for testing. But I would not talk too much. So Thomas, Nico, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Armin, for the nice introduction, and welcome to our speech about how the agile transformation changed testing. It's really a pleasure for us to conduct this session today at the A4Q World Testing Forum. And well, how many of you had concerns about quality when going through an agile transformation? Nico and myself, we had these concerns when we went through our very first agile transformation more than a decade back now. And we saw also these concerns and fear multiple times at various different projects. And hence we analyzed these more in detail and recognized that there are many different levels of testing. And we would like to share our practical view on this topic and these various different testing levels with you today in the next 45 minutes. But first of all, let's introduce ourselves. So it's my pleasure today to conduct the sessions with Nico. Nico is a very good colleague and congenial buddy, I would say, in the last 10 years on our journey about agile testing. He has an extensive experience in the field of agile quality coaching, also in the field of continuous transformation coaching at various projects. He's supporting his clients over multiple years to enhance really a sustainable agile transformation. He's an experienced conference speaker and also of the book House of Agile Quality. Having said that, Nico, handing over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, the A4Q colleagues, for having us here today. It's my pleasure to introduce Thomas here. Thomas is my long-term buddy, I think, since 12 years here in Accenture. Our book is our actual step in our long journey. We published last year. And Thomas is an enterprise C-level coach for very large transformations in the quality engineering area. Also, he's speaker, author, and via articles and also our book. So he's very experienced in that. And he's our Lean Six Sigma master, black belt master, which is a skill we just need for all our 4 levels we will show you today. So what is our mission? What is our idea? Our idea is the customer centricity. This is our key to success, and this is what we call with this sentence here, our mission statement, to attain quality throughout the whole development life cycle to provide the customers with the software they need. So this is our goal. Our goal is strengthen the efficiency in the whole software development life cycle. And the key is always to have the customer in the center and know what they really want. And to attain this, we engaged 4 levels. 4 levels we all, or many of us, went in the last years. So today we will show you the steps from level A to level B in different slides and and show different tools and methods, also the purposes and the challenges of those steps. The levels we saw in the years and with via our experience is the first level is the classical waterfall. We started in 12 years. Many of you have started longer ago. We have clear defined processes. We have clear defined departments, silos where the people work together, and where they are really good synchronized, I hope. Later on, we started the agile journey, the agile development journey. This is something which started in just one team mainly. So it is the first challenge to engage in one team and be synchronized and make good quality in our context. And the next step is the step to level 3, to put all the teams together in a scaled way, to put them together, in this example, in a release train, to bring them in one process, to bring the quality at the end as one product. And the fourth level is our journey to lean quality management. So this is something we just heard in the other talks today. We have many ideas. We have many methods. We have technologies and methodologies to bring lean quality management to life. But in our opinion, we need these steps to achieve this in the future. And now let's step in the first step from level 1 to level 2, Thomas.
Yeah, we'll keep this very first stage quite short, as you all might have heard multiple times already today and in many other occasions about this stage. So, as Nico already said, what are the key challenges in that transformation from level 1 to level 2? So the challenges are typically uncertainty about the new roles and related tasks. There's for sure a lack of agile mindset and also knowledge, typically. But what we saw also very often is unclear vision and mission in that stage, which could be really a barrier for the transformation. Purpose for level 2 now is to raise and increase the quality awareness in the entire team, to breaking down the old habits and structure, to be able to really learn the new methods and the new way of working here. And in addition to that, establish a team spirit and a quality mindset within the team, which is extremely important based on our experience. There are multiple different methods and tools available out in the market. We would just like to highlight a few basic concepts here, which helped us a lot in the past decade when doing these transformations. It was on the one hand side the well-known change management concepts of John Kotter, for sure. But it was, in addition to that, also the change curve of Elisabeth Kübler-Ross and the awareness of this change curve. And here, I would just like to highlight that it's extremely important to know these different stages of this change curve and to have an awareness at which state your transformation is currently going through. This transformation, this change curve is relevant for all levels of transformation. And you need really to target your kind of communication, your supportive level, and all that stuff, depending on the stage within that curve. So, for instance, if your employees are currently in the valley of tears, you for sure need to help them to put out the positive aspects of that, so that they are able to come out of this valley of tears. And if we jump on the next slide, we brought one example, one specific project example with us here, which we would like to share you, because it was very impressive for us and also for many colleagues. We showed this example with. So as a starting point, just to give you an impression, the agile transformation started, but at the very beginning, there was no one with a specific testing knowledge or testing background part of the team. After some sprints, a person with a dedicated agile testing background joined the team, and there were multiple effects visible for us. So first of all, as an agile tester and also the rest of the team told us, well, in this agile, this one person had multiple hats on his head. within the team. So he's doing some tasks from a business analyst. He's doing tasks which formerly was done by a defect manager. He's for sure doing a lot of quality engineering tasks, but he's also doing a kind of team internal coaching task. And this is, based on our experience, extremely important to have within the team a person with a strong testing background who acts as a kind of quality coach or quality ambassador within the team to increase this quality mindset within the team. And what was interesting here for us is we could see the effect directly in one of the OKRs we used. As you can see here in the stated in the graph on the right corner, it shows the so-called CAST KPI or CAST OKR. It's about the customer satisfaction score. And we saw when this HR tester joins the team, over the months, the customer satisfaction increased. And we were asking ourselves, what was the reason for that, and how can we use this also in other teams? And while investigating this effect, we saw that it was due to the systematic testing knowledge and approach this HR tester colleague brought into the team, which increased the overall product quality, and it fixed two big issues. Sounds quite easy, but in the end, it was simply a web application, and this web application was not running on each and every browser. He came in, systematically tested each and every browser combination, and recognized there's one specific browser where the application is not working. Then the team fixed it, which went to a really significant increase in the customer satisfaction. And this was one example. We found out really multiple of such scenarios, and we could also investigate this effect in other teams on that project. Which showed us that having this knowledge as part of the team is really crucial to really successfully establish and apply all the principles and methods of testing level 2. And Nico, what is the next step now?
Yeah, the next step after we reached level 2 and have the agile transformation done in a team, and it's cool for having a small app product, a project or something like that. But when we need to develop bigger programs and bigger applications, we need more teams. And this scaling effect is a big challenge. The challenges here are that the processes must be scaled across the multiple teams. So we are done in a team, we work together, everything is really good happening. But when we have 10 or 20 or 30 teams, those processes must be aligned. This is the first big challenge. The second is to have a comprehensive alignment in the self-organized organized environment. When you have one or when you have 2 or 3 teams, it is all good. You have self-organized teams. Everybody is doing what they want to do and what they need to do. But if you are aligned and have hubs or bigger scaled areas or team complexities, you need to be aligned over the teams. And this is something where you grab the teams, the self-organization, and this is something they need to learn, and they need to know that this needs to be done. The purpose here for level 3 is a facilitation of a structured transformation process. So when you are growing in the teams, you need to have a plan how you grow. So not just having one team and in the next sprint have 50 teams, just have a small growth or managed growth of the teams to have structured transformation, and also transformation the teams to the new processes. Also, you need to establish a basis of a scaled quality approach. So this is something Thomas said. We need the quality coaches in one team, and we need quality coach departments where we have such people in every team, and they need to be connected in a community. And therefore, they are also responsible for having to develop a common language for a shared understanding besides the teams, and to establish the systematic thinking as opposite to the local optimization. Because when you're just looking at problems, when you're just looking at the one's teams, this couldn't help. You need to have an overview over the whole program, a systematic overview to fix the problems there. The tools and methods we are having here is for sure the continuous improvement process, which we are developing in the communities, having some space to discuss and to solve the themes we have on the ground. We need we already said, agile coaching and training approaches and need to develop them into the programs, and also the QE leadership, which we show in the next slides. And one other part is, and as you said, see in our background, our House of Agile Quality. This is our book we released last week. This is something just like a lightweight framework for having all these challenges from level 2 to 3 and also from 3 to 4 to challenge all these. And the idea here is to having such this framework here, and which we say here is we need always a test fundament. So we need the right people in place, we need the right mindset in place, and we need the thinking about quality in every role we have. And this is the test fundament we have here. And on this fundament, when we have this, we can build up our 3 pillars. The 3 pillars are, once the roles, second is the approach we are deciding for, and the third is the tools and under supporting disciplines. For a short deep dive at the role side, it is very important to have the right roles. We sometimes need new roles in a bigger scaled environment. We also need a development process for the people. We need a development, a coaching for the developers in the area of quality, and the other way around. And we need a development for the whole organizational structure, where we always pick out the problem parts and solve them and bring more quality into the processes. At the approach pillar, we have to decide about agile scaling framework. There we have all those names in the world out there, but we need to have an alignment for once of that, to have one common language. So this is another very important part, to have one understanding how the teams are working together. And in place there, we need to have an idea about the cross-sprint and in-sprint approach for our quality aspects. So this is something we really have to design across the teams. And the third part is the change management and the common language part. We need to have an idea how to change the organization and how to bring the new aspects into the organization. The third part is the tools and supporting disciplines. So here we have everything which is for the tools interesting. So we have the decidance of the tool, of the automation tool, of the defect tracking tool, documentation tool. So every tools you have, you need to have a decision and have an alignment over the teams to have communication platforms. Also, the test data and environments are very interested and important to decide. And all these lines out into a DevOps approach, into a DevOps vision. We don't really need DevOps in the first steps, but we need a mission, a vision where we want to go. And this is in place in here. And after we have those 3 pillars built up in a good quality, in a good manner, then we are ready to put on top the whole lean quality engineering methods, which is placed out in our level 4, which we're gonna see in the next steps. But first, having shown the house, we have a short deep dive in our idea how to orchestrate, how to reorganize the teams. So in the middle, we have the partner programs, the development teams, and the special teams. Those are the teams are doing their job in the scaled approach. And we have in place here some of our quality engineers who have the right mission and the vision to get the synchronization and also the vision across the teams. But in the next step, we need also to include the other teams around. So we have architecture teams, we have loaded performance test teams, we have all those areas who are all involved in the quality process, and they all need quality engineers, need an alignment between the quality engineers, and then we need somebody, such a servant leader, the quality engineering lead down there. He's not a real lead. We don't have test managers back. We have servant leaders, visionary people who lead the organization for quality, and they are implementing the common QE vision and the cross-team commitment. So this is our idea to combine the teams into a scaled environment. And when we have that, we are ready with a built in house to go up to the lean quality management. And this is the step to agile expertise. Thomas, please.
Yes, this typically means we have within an organization multiple dozen agile teams up and running. And what we typically see as a challenge in these environments is all these teams are up and running. All these teams gathered their own experience, and mostly all of these teams are following different or at least slightly different quality standards and procedures. Test processes, testing tools, all that stuff is very often not streamlined. And in addition to that, scaling requires also a kind of rethinking and additional methods and procedures. And having worked in an environment with, let's say, complete freedom to decide everything what you want within your team, or many things within your team, it's often hard for these teams to do the next step and really scale up on a portfolio level with multiple hundred teams working, or the whole IT organization of a company working in that agile way. But this is the purpose in the end for level 4. We need to roll out testing guardrails for all teams, which means they can for sure adapt it a bit, but within dedicated guardrails to ensure the overall quality and to ensure that the overall IT landscape of a company is up and running and fulfilling the client needs in the end. We need to harmonize these different individual quality standards. We also need to continuously monitoring and improve of the various processes. We need to focus a lot on these standard lean methods and practices, like reducing waste in order to improve the business value. And typically we need to strengthen or establish the real customer centricity and value stream based organization within the teams. As mentioned, you will find dozens of different tools and methods out in the market. Based on our experience, it's very important to apply these value stream mapping techniques, to also apply the basic Lean and Lean Six Sigma methodologies to measure things, to bring transparency in, and to ensure a continuous improvement process. And for sure, you again need to do agile coaching and trainings for the different scaling methods. Having said that, let's have a closer look on a dedicated example out of our practical experience. In that context, we had 55 teams, agile teams, up and running, working on multiple different applications within a company. And we recognized that these teams are following partially different processes. All teams really documented their processes in Confluence, some better, some some had room for improvement in this area. But this was really a good example where we recognized, okay, these teams are now there, these teams are working in an agile way, but to align all that on a value stream organization, to align all that on the overall company goals, we need to bring more harmonization in it. And it's not to reduce freedom of agility, it's more to streamline all activities which are done within the company to the company's goals and to the company's visions in the end. And we also recognized here, it's not just about the IT department itself. It's also important to bring in also other parts of the company into this agile way of working, to really have an agile movement within this organization. And for us, these four bubbles you can see on the right side of the slide were really key success factors here. So bringing in an overall process overview and structure, again, apply a lot of change management activities and ensures that all teams are talking a shared language. Bring in clear processes and transformations, plus also increase and further increase transparency via OKRs. And two things were extremely important for us on that step. First of all, you need to communicate all these things via multiple channels. So as you can see here on the left side, we did this via the community of practice, weekly newsletters, as part of the system demo, in PMPO syncs, in Scrum of Scrum meetings, and very, very, very many other channels also. And the second thing is, processes are only beneficial for people and for the company if people are aware of it. And we also saw that processes always containing waste. And if we jump to the next slide, we just highlighted one key learning for us here. It's about that lean agile quality management is really supporting the way to business agility within a company. And we saw here that, in the end, the key essence of lean is eliminating waste, right? Therefore, we decided to have a closer look on the various kinds of waste, and we applied this concept of reduction of waste into an enterprise solution delivery environment. And we see on the left-hand side in System 1, which is our standard IT system development part, that everyone was quite aware of this concept of eliminating waste, reducing extra features, reducing hands-off within the teams, and so on. So this was working quite well. But there's a second system we recognized. It's about the organizational system development and being agile as a whole company. And we then focused on the system 2, which is about how to grow and evolve the organizational structure and collaboration within the enterprise. And here I just would like to highlight this waste number 8 at the very top of circle number 2. It's a waste of underutilization of skills of people. And as we are working in an area of knowledge worker, this is extremely important. We need to ensure that our employees are neither facing a burnout nor be bored out, right? So we need to hit the sweet spot between the skills and the tasks and reduce waste, so unnecessary tasks within the various processes. And we need to set the right motivational points here, for instance, by adapting the incentive system and so on. So these are really topics when we are talking about enterprise agile transformation, which are on the one hand side far beyond standard testing tasks, but on the other hand are extremely relevant to motivate our testing and quality engineering experts to do the things in the right way. And what does that mean now if we are talking about business agility in the sense of our main target, customer centricity and increasing business value, Nico?
Yeah, as we said in the first slide or in our mission statement, the customer centricity is always or should be always our center here. And if we want a good customer or a happy customer, we need to follow some steps. So first, not first at every story or at every sprint, but first when we start in an alignment with our customers, we need to have some market analysis. So these are some informations the customer should also not know really. So we are there to help him to understand what the market says, to understand what the customer wants, and then to decide how we build our solutions. And this is also, in our opinion, this is also the quality engineering starting there at the requirements with design thinking workshops or some other workshop methods we all know and we learned in the Corona also at home. We need to build up a good customer idea of the solution. And when we have the customer feedback and the ideas, we go further with you, Thomas.
Yeah, having all this qualitative customer feedback, we need to be able now to translate this feedback into OKRs or KPIs. So really, we need to be able to measure which factors, which things are critical to quality for the customer. And having this translation done, we are really able then to do a data-driven quality improvement with our processes, but also with our products. And how can we do that, Nico?
The idea here is to using those Lean Six Sigma methods we know from production. I had a call with a colleague who builds the motors of the MAN LKWs. They also uses these, and they have enough. And the make circle here is one example. They have enough methods to build up the best process quality, to build up the right quality aspects in the products, and with those quality improvement processes, we will have the improvement of the processes, and also this is our object here of the product we need to deliver for the client. And this phases out too.
Yeah, it's in the end, everything is about customer satisfaction and increasing business value, right? So if we applied now all these various tools out of the DMAC toolbox and we are able to measure everything, we need to check if the customer satisfaction is really increasing. So meaning, did we really do the right things here? And also we need to have a look on if the customer is more satisfied, does this also have a positive impact to our overall business results, right? And having all these measures here and controlling all these measures in a continuous approach, this is really promoting business agility to a really fact-based action and leads to a regular innovation spiral. Because what Nico described in the very beginning, doing market analysis, this circle is really a spiral. So you get the feedback, you do the improvements, you get the response in the market, and you start the circle from the beginning. And doing this continuously will increase customer satisfaction for sure. Having said that, handing over to you, Nico.
So now we come to an end of our presentation, but this is not all we have to say. We just had an article about all these ideas with the lean quality management, and we did also a whole magazine about it, where we just talk about those 4 levels and many other things. So you can watch this article here. It's a bunch of articles about the lean quality management idea of our firm and how to develop these and how to place these in your companies. Also, as we just said in the beginning, we just launched our House of Agile Quality book. So this is a combination of many articles, ideas, and rewrote it many times. We're just very happy to having this in our hands now. our book, which you can also subscribe from Amazon down there in this barcode. So this is it. Thomas, one last famous word or handing over.
Let's hand over to Armin to tackle your questions.
Okay, so I'm online. So Nico, Thomas, thank you so much for this interesting and impressing talk. You mentioned 55 teams. This briefs some kind of real life challenge, of course, very impressive. So it's time for questions. I have a few in the chat. The first is how to ensure. That's from. Yeah, that's exactly like in the previous talk. I wonder if it's if the system is working right, but I put it, how to ensure the independence of testing in agile scale development cycles like SAFe.
Well, I would say it's hard to give an answer which fits to each and every situation, because we deeply believe that it's always up to the specific project situation we need to tackle with. But in general, I would say there are multiple options. What we did very successfully in the past is, for instance, having some dedicated roles, like Nico described, this quality engineering lead role, as either part of a service center, shared service center, which is offered within the SAFe framework, or if you have bigger tasks, to have specialists as part of a systems team, for instance, who can support the various agile teams in various different agile release trains. Another option from us, a client from mine, was that we decided to have these specialists as part of an agile team, but they are just available, for instance, 50% or 30% for the standard task within that team. The rest of the capacities they are using for cross-team tasks, like, for instance, load and performance testing in that case. And I guess depending on the concrete situation, you need to judge individually which of these three options fits best to you. But in all three options, we saw that there is the independence of testing, and there is this systematic approach of testing still there, and even had a very positive impact to the developers and all other colleagues being part of that release trains, right?
Okay, so you were good in time. So we have just 5 more questions. We will not manage all of them, but some of them. The next one is how to control the frequent change of requirements in agile methods in order to maintain the should be traceability between test artifact and requirements.
Let me just take this question, and also it's an answer, I hope, for some of the other questions. I think the hard traceability is not really the main goal we need. I think when we have a real good automation in place, and a real good automation doesn't mean we automate everything. A really good automation means we have an automation which gives us the direct feedback every day, in the best case, or more often. And when we have this in place, and when we have it in good processes, so we really get a fast feedback, we don't have to analyze the test cases day by day. We just have a dashboard. We have informations direct in place when we come in the office in the morning. This is the main artifact, I think, for having these requirements every day in view, and it's well placed. So not just the technical requirement traceability, just having the techniques on board, working and helping us in our daily experiences.
Okay.
And I think it's also the same at the next. So which KPIs are important there? Start simple and then grow with this, and gonna be better day by day. This is one of our aspects, I think, which helps.
Yeah. I think the questions all go a little bit, thank you, all go a little bit in the same direction. Next one talks of how to control the frequent change of requirements. That's a traceability thing as well in agile methods in order to maintain, again, traceability. We have answered this, I think, and the next one is the KPIs again. Okay, so I skip these two and go to the next one. On average, how much times does it take to get from level, how much do you take to go from level 3 to level 4? That depends, I think. That extremely depends.
Let me try a short answer. Sorry, Thomas, but we just talked about those slides in the past, and this is the question we always get there. So, just having a timetable when we have level 3 to level 4 is this is what the people want. Sorry, but it depends. I think to have this great challenge, and it also depends on how many teams we have and how complex the whole situation is and how complex the whole program is. I think this could take years. So having a good agile team working, so level 2, sometimes I think should take 1 year. If we have experienced people, we could go faster. Level 3 is also when the question is when we are ready. When do we have level 3? We never have level 3. We have changes in teams, and sometimes we have to restart. So this is the first challenge, and level 4 is not an end sign. It is just the light of the end of this journey. We always have to run to achieve it. Sorry, Thomas. You're
Well, hard to add to add additional points here, but for me, really, the most important factors are how stable is the environment. On the one hand side, regarding the people, but also regarding the technique and methods used, and on the other hand side, how big is the environment, and how distributed is it. And based on these three main factors, I would say you can estimate how long such a transformation took. But from level 3 to level 4, I personally never saw a transformation which was faster than 1.5 years, to be quite honest here.
Okay, so I would have had also a few questions, but I think we do not need them, and we can talk about that maybe later or another day, whatever. We are at 1:45, so we should stop here. Thomas, Nico, I again thank you very much. That were great insights in coming from real life, and I appreciate to get those ideas from real life. And all those outside, I hope to see you in the next talk of our session, because I will talk there. Okay. So
sure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye.